Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss some of the extra questions of the chapter Organic Chemistry, some basic principles and techniques. The all concepts whatever we have learned in this chapter are quite important because we will be applying these all concepts next year, that is in the 12th standard. But in this academic year, what type of question you will be getting on this chapter, that we need to discuss here. So here are some questions and their answers are also given here. So let us discuss these, in which some are the text exercise questions also. So first of all, the question number 1, how many isomers are possible for monosubstituted and disubstituted benzene? So that is the first question. And first of all, what do you mean by monosubstituted? Monosubstituted means benzene ring have only one group, then it is called as monosubstituted. If there are two group, then it is called as disubstituted. So monosubstituted, only one possibility is there, because wherever you keep that X group, it will be giving the same compound. But disubstituted have three possibilities here, that is either at 1,2 position, that is called as ortho position, 1,3 position, that is meta, and 1,4 position. As we have learnt about isomers, they have same molecular formula but different structures. So when you look at here, the position of X is different. What is X? It is a halo group. Halo group means it can be Cl, Br or I. These are the halo groups. So when you look at in this, the position of X are different. That is in the 1 and 2 position, that is the adjacent position, and what we call that position, ortho. And if it is at 1,3 position, that is called as meta, and 1,4 position, that is the para. So the three possibilities, or we can say there are three isomers for these. So what about the case of monosubstituted? Because only one possibility is there, there is no further possibility. So in the benzene ring, if you are keeping X here, or if you are keeping X here, that is actually both these are the same, because at the time, because this will be the first carbon and here this will be the first carbon. So in both the cases, these are the same one. So only one possibility is there in the monosubstituted. For the disubstituted, there are three possibilities. Next, write the bond line formula for heptane 4-on. Heptane means 7 carbon, word root is 7, 4-on. So how we make actually the bond line form? By making zigzag line. So make the zigzag line 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now when you count the tip here, that is after making the zigzag line, because heptane means a 7 carbon, it should be 7 carbon chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So when you make the zigzag line, just count it, the tip and corner, it should be 7 only. Now start the numbering from any of the position. I'm starting from here. This is the second carbon, third, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbon. And what it is given, 4-on. That means here there is a functional group and that is on the 4th position. What about the primary suffix? It is given N. That means all are the single bond. And there is one functional group that is on the 4th position. So which one is the 4th position here? That is this one is the 4th position. There you have to make the ketonic group. How we represent the ketonic group? That is double bonded O. So this is what the bond line formula for heptane 4-on. So similarly, you can getting different questions also on the basis of like name will be given. You have to make bond line formula. The next question, give the IUPAC name of the alkane having the lowest molecular mass that contains quaternary carbon. Now, what is quaternary carbon? We have learnt about the primary, secondary and tertiaries. Okay, so when we are talking about primary, so if I'm talking about this carbon is the primary, that means that there should be one alkyl group attached to this carbon. So when there is one alkyl group means what will be the number of here should be the hydrogen. If I am talking about the secondary means there will be two alkyl group, then this carbon is called as secondary. And if I am saying this carbon is tertiary, at the time there should be three alkyl groups. So if I am saying about quaternary, the definitely four alkyl group will be there to this carbon. So now this carbon is called as quaternary carbon. That is called as quaternary carbon or the 4th degree. So the question is give the IUPAC name of the alkane. Alkane means all are single bond having the lowest molecular mass that contain quaternary carbon. That means the carbon must have the 4 alkyl group and minimum, because lowest molecular mass it is asked. So which R is the lowest? That is actually one carbon alkyl group, that is methyl. So what you need to do here, in the place of R you can write CH3. So what we get here, we'll get a C, that is quaternary means all this carbon should be get attached to the alkyl groups, and because lowest it is asked, so we have to keep the methyl group. Now this is the correct structure. But the question is that we have to write the IUPAC name. So IUPAC name, in that case we have to name it, select the longest chain, and when you count from here or here, it is same, because on the both the places you will be getting the position of the substitute. These are the substitute same. So I am starting from left side, 1, 2, 3. So 3 carbons. So what will be the word root? Word root will be prop. What about the substitute? Here 2 substitute are the methyl group, that is both are on the second position. Therefore 2 dimethyl prop, and all the carbon atom that is between carbon is are single. These are single. Therefore I can write N here, and there is no functional group, so I can end with the E here. So that is 2,2-dimethyl propane. That is what the name, IUPAC name for it, that you can see, 2,2-dimethyl propane. Next, 4th question and 5th question, that is geometrical isomerism, that will be going to discuss in the next chapter. That time we can solve this one. Next, the question is draw the complete structures of a boromethane, boroethane, 2-bromopropane and tertiary butyl bromide, and arrange them in the increasing order of steric hindrance. So first of all, we have to make the structure for this. Bromomethane. What is bromomethane? That is, methane means one carbon and there is one bromo group, that is CH3Br. So we have to make structures of this. So it is given here CH3. How you can expand CH3? In this way you can expand, and there is one Br, that is called as bromomethane. Next is bromoethane. Ethane word means 2 carbon, and bromo means there should be one group, that is bromo here, because ethane single bond, and we know that it is tetravalent, so keep the bond like this. So one bromo is there. So what about the other all places? Just keep the hydrogen for each carbon here. So what will be the formula here? That is, this is the structure formula, because the question is asked, you have to draw the complete structures. So this is the structure formula. Next, next is the 2-bromopropane. 2-bromopropane. So propane, start from the word root. Propane means the number of carbon should be 3. 1, 2, 3 carbon, And propane word use, that means single bond between the carbon. And I'm starting the counting from here. And 2 bromo means on the second carbon there is one Br group. And there is no further substitute, so keep the bond like this. And we know that it is tetravalent, so keep the hydrogen like this. So what we got here, this is what the formula for 2-bromopropane. That is on the second position there is one bromo group and it is a 3-carbon organic compound. Next is tertiary butyl bromide. Now the word comes tertiary butyl. So what is tertiary butyl? As I told you, the carbon which have 3 alkyl groups are called as tertiary. So I am making a carbon here, and because it is tertiary, so we have to keep the 3 alkyl group. Now it is butyl means tertiary butyl it is given means the total number of carbon should be 4. So this is one carbon. So definitely this will be a methyl group, this one will be a methyl group, and this one will be a methyl group. And 4 tertiary butyl bromide means this should be Br here. So now when you find it here, there are 3 alkyl groups. Therefore it is called as tertiary. It is called as tertiary. And bromide. And why butyl? Because total number of carbon is 4. So this is what it is further expanded as it is given here. So these are the structures we have made here. Now the question is that arrange them in the order of increasing steric hindrance. Steric hindrance means because all these cases there is Br is attached, that you can see. Now in which carbon that Br is attached, we have to see that how much is their bulkiness around this carbon. On which carbon? The carbon on which the Br is attached. So let us highlight this carbon, here this carbon. Just highlight that carbon on which Br is attached. Now when you check the bulkiness means is there any bulky group surrounding to this carbon or not. So just check here. In the first case, this carbon is surrounded by 3 hydrogen, and we know that hydrogen is a small size, so there is no bulkiness. So the least bulkiness is here. But in this case, in the second case, this carbon is surrounded by 1 methyl group. That is little bit bulkier than the case of hydrogen. But here there are 2 bulky group, and here there are 3 bulkier group. Bulkier group means because methyl group will be little bit bigger in size when you compare with hydrogen. So where is the more bulkiness, or we can say where there is a steric hindrance. Where there is a steric hindrance, that is where there is greater number of bulkier group, that carbon is more sterically hindered. So that means when you find here, I made the circles for marking the alkyl groups surrounding to that carbon. So here 3 alkyl groups are there. So this is the most bulkier. This carbon is surrounded by bulkier group. Then here only 2 groups are there, here only single, and here all are hydrogen. So definitely the tertiary butyl bromide have the greater steric hindrance than 2-bromopropane, then bromoethane, then bromomethane. So this is what the right sequence. So in this, what you need to do, you have to find out that carbon which is attached to the Br, and just check the surrounding to that. If there is large size group, that will be more sterically hindered. So in the case of tertiary butyl bromide, that carbon which I have highlighted with red dot here, that carbon is surrounded by 3 methyl groups. So we can say there will be greater steric hindrance to that carbon. Next question number 7. What is the relationship between the members of the following pairs of the structures? Are they identical, structural, geometrical, or resonance contributors? So here some pairs are given, some pair of structures are given. We have to identify the relation between them. So first case, when you look at these two structures, are they same? First of all, just count the number of carbon in the main chain. So when you count it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here also 5 carbon. That means both are 5 carbon, and in both the cases we can see there is a ketonic group because double bonded O is there. That is seen here, double bonded O, and here it is double bonded O. That means that is a same functional group. Here the main chain is same main chain, but same functional group also. Functional group is also same, but when you look at here, there is a difference, and that difference is in the position. That is in the position of this group. When you look at here, this double bonded O, here it is on the second carbon, and here it is on the 1, 2, third carbon. So position of the double bonded O, that is ketonic group, position is different. So what we call this one, these are isomers because they have same molecular formula. When you count the number of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen is same. So these are actually isomers. But which type of isomers? These are structural isomerism because it is given here in the question itself. We have to classify them as which type of this, that is, it is structural isomerism, and in particularly we can say it is a position isomerism because position of functional group is different here. So that is actually position isomerism. It is a type of structural isomers. So this is the right answer. The next pair that is shown here, this is next pair. We have to check any similarity or differences are there. So when you look at here, this both have same molecular formula. When you count the number of carbon, hydrogen and Cl, it is same. But what is the difference here? Here double bonded C, double bonded C. When you look at here, these two hydrogen are opposite. Here also these two are opposite hydrogen. And the Cl and the other group is opposite, and this is also opposite. So that means here these are actually the same structure. That means these are identicals. There is no difference in this. Because when we talk about the geometrical isomers, when we take the fourth case, in this case you can see same molecular formula because carbon numbers, number of H, number of D is same. But when you look at here, in the first case, the two hydrogen attached to two different carbon, you can see they are opposite to each other. But in the second case, this hydrogen and this hydrogen, they are not opposite. They are adjacent to each other because if I am making the opposite, H and D are opposite. That is what actually we will be going to discuss in the geometrical isomers. So what in short I can say here, so look at the double bonded carbon, and on one carbon hydrogen and other carbon hydrogen, if they are opposite, that is one form of a geometrical isomer. But they are, if it is adjacent, the same group, if it is adjacent, not opposite, in that case it is another form of geometrical isomer. So these are actually the geometrical isomers. Next, the third case, here you can see the electrons, there is delocalization, so it is actually the resonance contributors. Next question is that, and this is also the most familiar type of question, any formula will be given to you and you have to identify the functional group present in it. So in this actually, whatever group we can see here, there is an aldehyde group CHO, there is an alcoholic group OH, and there is a methoxy group that is represented as OMe. So how many groups are here? functional group, aldehyde group is there, alcoholic group is also there, and methoxy group is also there. So if more than one functional group are there, I told you we have to look at the more priority should be given on the basis of the one arrangement I already explained. So when you look at that, in that series, which functional group have more priority? That is the aldehyde group have more priority functional group. So in this case, you can write that CHO group is the principal functional group and other are the secondary functional group, because if more than one functional group are there, we have to give priority to one of the functional group. So that actually here the more priority is to the functional group, that is aldehyde. So that is called as principal functional group, and the other two are called as secondary functional group, that we can take it as a prefix. So this type of question you will be getting. Next, question number 9. Draw the structure of all isomeric ethers corresponding to the molecular formula C5H12O. That is what it is given here. So we have to make all the possible structures. So it is an ether. Ether means how we represent ether generally, ROR. So we have to make all the possibilities for this ether. So better you can first make a straight chain and you can keep the O at one place. That here you can see O is here. Next you can keep the O after 2 carbon. Then you can also branch this and further branching is also possible. So this is actually up to you that how you can able to arrange, and the maximum possibility is 4 only. The next question, question number 10. How many cyclic and acyclic isomers are possible for a molecular formula C3H6O? Draw these. So acyclic means a straight chain and cyclic means a ring form. And because one oxygen is also there, so you can try all the possibilities, but the number of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen should not change. That is C3H6O. So 3 carbon, that means you can make the aldehyde, that is CH3CH2, CHO. Ketone is also possible, and even you can keep the double bond and also you can find the different possibilities, and even in the cyclic form also you can find the different possibilities. So these are the some questions, and from this the 7th question is a text, that is NCERT text question. The next question is question number 11. In which CC bond of these compound the inductive effect is expected to be least? This question we have already discussed. That is actually in the video itself we have discussed. So inductive effect least for that carbon which is have the maximum distance from that the polar bond. Which is the polar bond here? Because if I write this one, CH3 CH2 CH2 Br. So here this is actually the more electronegative element. So this bond is actually polar. So when we make this one, it will develop a partial positive charge. It will form again the smaller charge and it will form the further. So the least charge, that is the fraction of charges will be for the 3rd carbon. This is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, for the 3rd carbon. So in that case, what we can say, the least inductive effect will be for this carbon. So that is the bonding between these 2 carbon will have the least inductive effect. So what you can remember here, so that carbon which is actually quite distance from that bromo, that will be called as the have experienced the least inductive effect. Next term, that is draw the structure of that means the name is given to us, we have to make the structure. So let us try this one. Pent 4 in, to, all. So I told you better start from the word root. What is the word root? Pent is the word root. Pent means how many carbons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon. Pent. And just I'll start the counting from this carbon. This is the first carbon, second, third, 4, 5. And on the fourth position there is in word is used. That means there is double bond on the fourth carbon. So where is the fourth carbon? This one. So we have to keep a double bond here between the fourth and fifth carbon. And there is a functional group because 2-ol is given. 2-ol means on the second carbon there is one alcoholic group, and the other all bond you can keep single. Now on the basis of on the basis of valency, tetravalency, just keep the hydrogen on each places. So here already one bond is there, so 3 hydrogen, here 1 hydrogen, here 1, and here also 2 bond is already there and 1 bond here, so that means 1 hydrogen, and here 2 hydrogen. So this is what the structure for this. Next structure, that is a cyclohex 2-in-1-ol. So cyclohex word is used. That means it is a cyclic compound, and hex means you have to make hexagon. Hex means total 6 carbons are there. You have to make hexagon, and it is given 2-in. That means on second position there is a one double bond, and 1-ol means you have to give importance to the functional group. So I am keeping this one as the first carbon, this is second, third, 4, 5 and 6. So on the first carbon keep OH group, and there is a double bond, and where we need to keep the double bond 2-in. That means between second and third. That is important to note. 2-in means the double bond should be between the second and third carbon, not between the first and second. So 2-in means the double bond will be between the second and third carbon. Any other possibilities are there? Yes, one more possibility is that because if I want, I can rub this double bond, and if I am starting the counting in the anti-clockwise direction, not in the clockwise direction, just I will rub it the numbering here. So if I am numbering in this anti-clockwise direction in this way, that is in this way. So here this one will be the second carbon, this is third, 4, 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, this is the fourth carbon, this is the fifth carbon and 6. So at the time 2-in means I can keep the double bond here also. So what I made the previous one and this one, both are actually the same one, because here I am counting in the anti-clockwise direction and that I counted in the clockwise direction, but both the structures are the same, identical, there is no difference. So if you want, you can make in this way or in that way. Now next question, that is for this formula C5H10, make the different structures possible. So this is all the different structure possible. So keep it that the carbon number and hydrogen number should not changes when you make the structures. So when you count the number of carbon here, 3, 4, 5 carbon, and when you keep the hydrogen you will get this molecular formula. The next question is a very most important question, usually getting question on this one. What type of hybridization of each carbon atom in the following compounds? So here those compounds are given, you will have to find out the hybridization of each carbon. So how we do this one? For that I told you have to learn this one, that is if it is single bond, that means that carbon should be sp3, and if there is a double bond, that carbon is sp2, and if there is a triple bond, that carbon is sp. So this compound CH3 It is given CH3, CH, double bond, CH, CN. CN means C triple bond N. So here just find out which carbon is single bonded. That means attached to all the bond that is single. So this is actually attached to single bond surrounding to this carbon all a single bond. That means it is sp3 hybridized. What about this one? There is one double bond and single bond. So this one is sp2 because there is a double bond. What about this one? Here this is also attached to double and here there is single. So double is there, that is sp2. What about this carbon? This is actually attached to triple bond. That's why it is sp hybridized. So in this way you have to write the hybridization of each carbon. Next is the second compound, this one. So let us expand this one. CH3 twice CO. How we can expand? CH3 is 2 times. That is CH3, C, double bond O, CH3. This is what actually, in short, how we can write this one. Because CH3 is 2 times. So we can write CH3 twice, C, double bond O. So here, when we look at this one, in this case, that is, in this case, the structure is given here. That is this one. So better I will write once again CH3, C double bond O, CH3. CH3, that means one, all are single bonded, CH3. Now this carbon is actually is attached to all single bonds. So it is sp3. What about this carbon? There is one double bond that you can see, double bond O. So this one is sp2 and this is also attached to all single, therefore it is sp3. So this is the answer for this one. Next question, that is the 15th question. Which bond is more polar in the following pairs of molecule? So here we have to find out which bond is more polar. So I told you this we have already discussed in the videos. It's a text solved problem. So here in this case, look at the bond CH bond. In the second here, it is CBr. So which one is more electronegative? This one is more electronegative in compared to hydrogen. So this is more polar. Second case, the bond is actually shown here, C single bond N and here CO. So which is more electronegative, N or H? Which is more electronegative? Sorry, N and O. O is more electronegative, so this bond will be more polar. Similarly, in the third case, because O is more electronegative than S, so CO is more polar. The next question, which is expected to be more stable and why? So here the two compounds are given which is more stable. So that is actually here there is one group that is nitro group. NO2 group is present and which shows negative inductive effect. Negative inductive effect means it is a withdrawing group. It withdraws the electron from the chain. So because of this one, what happened? Because it tend to disperse the negative charge on the oxygen and this results into the stability. Therefore, this is the most stable. The next is very most important question, that is in the exam you will be getting definitely one question on this one. Draw the resonating structures for following. So for this you need to remember some simple way I am giving to you in order to do such resonating structures. So first of all, make some hexagons you make. Better I will make once again. Make the hexagons. So first hexagon, second hexagon, third hexagon, fourth hexagon. Make 4 hexagons first. And keep a double-headed arrows in between. Here there is no space, that's why I am not making, but you have to make the double-headed arrows that is shown here. So this is actually the easiest way I'm saying to make the resonating structure, because you will get confused while making the resonating structures. Now what you need to do here, what is given to us, that is C6H5OH. So here OH group means you have to keep OH here. So keep OH for each. Next you have to keep the single and double alternate single and double bond. So I am starting first one, double, single, double, single, double. But in the next three cases, we have to make only two double bonds there. So first of all, just learn the way how I am making the double bond, like this one and this. Better I will change the color so that it will be easy. Like this you have to make a, that means avoid this bond you have to avoid. Okay, next case straight two bond, and in third case like this. So once you learn the way of making this bond, and it is whatever structures you will be making in the same way, but the group what is it is there, that will changes only. And don't forget to keep the double headed arrows in between them, which I am not making here. Now what you need to do here, next keep a double bond between the second, third and fourth structure. Keep the double bond between the second, third and fourth structure, not on the first structure. And you have to remember that OH comes in which category, because we have learned plus R effect is shown by some of the cases, minus R effect is shown by some of the cases. So OH group, it shows a plus R effect. That's why there will be positive charge on these, because it shows plus R effect. And if there is a positive charge on this group, so the negative charge will be on the ring. So we'll make the negative charges. So negative charges in the second structure, we need to keep double bond between OH and this ring only for the second structure, third structure and fourth structure, not for the first one. And we have to keep the negative charges and positive charges only for these, not for the first one. So in the second position you have to keep the negative charge here, that is this is the ortho position. And in the third structure you have to keep negative charge here. On the fourth structure you have to keep negative charge here. So this is the resonating structure of phenol, that is what it is given here. Now when the next compound, that is C6H5CHO, so do it in the same manner, but what will you be doing, you will be, instead of OH, what you will be writing here, CHO, you will be writing CHO, because the bond position will be same. And this is actually coming in the minus R effect. So instead of positive charge, what you will be keeping here, you will be writing CHO here in the place of OH. I'm writing on over it. You can make it fair. So you will be keeping the negative charges here, not positive. You will be keeping negative charges because it is showing minus R effect. And when the negative charge is on the group, so positive charge will be in the ring here, like this. So in the simple way how we can easily learn the resonating structure that I told you. So all of you practice for these examples which is given here, and also some examples I will give in the homework also. So it is very important to learn the resonating structures, and it is also one of the text question. So all of you practice well these questions, write down these question and answer in your notebook.